Hello, James here. Hope you're doing well out there, staying warm. And this is one of the part two videos I want to make, but this one is on social issues, justice issues, and then from the past to the present day, as far as dealing with Black Americans and give their point on the quality of social work and economic. So these people that got the history there from TikTok, and they telling you the history and what. And some commentators on why we have the problems today, and what many people try to mention in the past. But I'm going to play this video and let her explain.
Who was the head of the FBI at the time, said this about the Black Panther Party. They are the greatest threat to internal security in the United States. This led to the FBI jailing and unaliving most of the members of the Black Panther Party during the late 60s and early 70s. So many lies have been told about the Black Panther Party, and I am here to let you know the facts so you can erase the lies. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966 by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. This was a revolutionary socialist organization that aimed to address systemic racism and injustice faced by Black Americans. The Black Panther Party made several significant positive contributions to society, especially in terms of advocacy for Black empowerment, social justice, and community welfare. Here are some key positive contributions the Black Panthers made. Let's start with the Free Breakfast for Children program. One of the most well-known Black Panther initiatives, this program provided free breakfast to thousands of Black children, addressing food insecurity and offering a model for community-based solutions to poverty. By 1971, the program was feeding over 20,000 children daily. The free health clinics. The Black Panther Party established medical clinics to provide health care to underserved communities, especially in Black neighborhoods. These clinics provided basic health services, immunizations, and care to people who had often limited access to health care. The Black Panther Party also organized health education efforts, including teaching communities about disease prevention, nutrition, and safe practices for mental and physical health. The Black Panther Party had a newspaper. That newspaper addressed key issues such as police brutality, inequality, and the civil rights struggle. It became an influential voice for the Black community and a vehicle for spreading revolutionary ideas. The Black Panther Party organized community schools and study groups to educate Black children and adults about African American history, politics, and revolutionary thought. They also promoted critical thinking and political education to help people understand and combat systemic oppression. Patrolling the police. The Black Panther Party began the practice of police patrol, where members would follow police officers to monitor their conduct and ensure that they were not engaging in abusive practices, particularly in poor Black neighborhoods. This action brought attention to police brutality and highlighted the need for reform. The Black Panther Party encouraged African Americans to arm themselves for self-defense, particularly against police violence. This was done under the legal framework of the Second Amendment, which we know they all love to this very day. And while controversial, it raised awareness about the power dynamics between law enforcement and Black communities. The Black Panther Party also thought about the health of its people when it came to sickle cell anemia research. The Black Panther Party was one of the first organizations to highlight sickle cell anemia, a disease disproportionately affecting Black people. They raised awareness and lobbied for research funding, which led to a greater attention to the condition and ultimately contributed to medical advancements. The Black Panther Party also recognized the need for mental health services and provided resources to help individuals cope with the trauma of systemic racism, violence, and poverty. This included peer counseling programs to assist those affected by mental health issues. They also had solidarity with other movements. The Black Panther Party aligned itself with international liberation movements and supported struggles against colonialism and imperialism, such as the fight for independence in Africa and solidarity with the Cuban and Vietnamese revolutions. The Black Panther Party worked to expose the systemic injustices within the criminal justice system, particularly the over-policing and mass incarceration of black people. They advocated for prison reform and were instrumental in bringing attention to the poor conditions and mistreatment of prisoners. The Black Panther Party's economic platform emphasized the need for equal access to jobs, affordable housing, and an end to economic exploitation. They advocated for a system that would address the needs of the poor and working class communities. They also had political engagement, voter registration, and political education. The Black Panther Party actively encouraged black Americans to vote and engage in the political process. They understood that the political participation was the key to challenging and changing oppressive systems, and they organized efforts to increase voter turnout in black communities. Members of the Black Panther Party ran for political office and engaged in campaigns for political office. While they did not always win elections, their participation helped raise awareness about black empowerment and the need for better representation. The Black Panther Party played a major role in shaping the Black Power movement, which emphasized racial pride, self-determination, and the right of black people to control their own destinies. The Black Panther Party was an early example of intersectionality, acknowledging that the struggles of black women, queer individuals, and other marginalized groups within the black community were crucial to the movement. The Black Panther women were central to the party's leadership and advocacy work. Elaine Brown was even named the head of the Black Panther Party when Huey was incarcerated for a time. The Black Panther Party helped foster a sense of pride in the black identity and culture, encouraging black people to embrace their African heritage and reject negative stereotypes. Their emphasis on the Afrocentric cultural identity contributed to the broader cultural shift toward black pride. Through their use of graphic design, visual art, and music, the Black Panther Party contributed to the cultural landscape of the 60s and 70s. The iconic imagery associated with the Black Panther Party, such as the clenched fists and the black beret, became symbols of resistance and empowerment. The Black Panther Party established chapters across the United States, providing a strong presence and leadership in many urban areas. These chapters not only acted as a means of resisting oppression, but also as hubs for community organizing and action. Many of their programs were visionary and laid the groundwork for future social justice movements, continuing to inspire activism to this day. I love you, black man. I love you, black woman. Knowledge is power. Power.
Why did the FBI murder Fred Hampton? Because J. Edgar Hoover said the Black Panther Party represents the greatest threat to the internal security of the United States. Fred Hampton was a prominent leader of the Black Panther Party who was attracting a lot of people, not just black people, other people as well, Latinos, white people, Native Americans. But he was out there saying, I am a revolutionary, and getting crowds of people to say, I am a revolutionary. Well, that's enough democracy right now. You're dead. You know, we're going to go into your apartment in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 in the morning or whatever, and we're going to shoot you in your bed, and then shoot you again to make sure you're dead. And then say that it's your fault. Lie about what happened, that, you know, you started this gunfight, and all these heroic FBI agents and Chicago pigs and whatever had to defend themselves, which was proven to be a lie. This is the exercise of the actual democracy of this country, which means it's essential dictatorship over people, and whenever they rise up, or whenever, like, you know, Fred Hampton, I think he first went to jail because he took some ice cream off an ice cream truck and passed it out to the kids in the neighborhood in the middle of summer, you know, and that's how they first got him in jail, and then he was out, you know, on jail, and that's when they murdered him. He wasn't even saying, I'm going to mobilize an army to overthrow the system tomorrow. He was just talking about revolution, and that was recognized as enough of a threat that the facade of democracy, the sham of democracy, fell to the ground, and the naked fist of dictatorship came out and murdered him, just like it did the prisoners in Attica. And you can even go back in the history of this country when people went on strike before the unions were so powerful, and they would murder dozens of people striking, and back in the end of the 19th and into the 20th century. So, this is the actual relations of power in the society. It's a dictatorship over those who are exploited and oppressed. It's the rule of the capitalist class over society. And it's very useful for them most of the time to have elections, because that's a way they can involve people in their own oppression. And your rights will always come right up to the point where in any way they're perceived to threaten the system by the powers that be, and then you'll see the naked murderous hand of the dictatorship come out. And the dictatorship of the proletariat socialist state power is radically different from that in the ways that I've discussed. Why did the FBI murder Fred Hampton? Because
Friday, and Walmart has just announced this week that it will discontinue its DEI programs, stop trying to include black businesses and women-owned businesses as suppliers, and remove LGBTQ merchandise from its stores. Walmart is the nation's largest employer with 1.6 million U.S. workers, and they're not the only ones. Lowe's, Harley-Davidson, Toyota, Ford Motor Company, and Molson Coors have all announced plans to scale back their DEI initiatives too. It's part of a larger effort by Trump conservatives to portray white Americans as the true victims of racism in America. It's like the story of Wicked, where a spectacular con artist and his sycophants convince the gullible white people of Oz that the bullet green woman is the real villain instead of the rich white man who rules over their lives. DEI means diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's a set of ideas that started in the 1960s to enable black people to be treated fairly in America after centuries of racial oppression. The reason why you have a job, go to college, or live in the neighborhood you want is largely because of DEI. Civil rights laws in the 1960s made it illegal to discriminate against black people, but after hundreds of years of state-sanctioned white privilege, treating everybody, quote, equally only freezes the status quo in place. If white people on average have $110 and black people only have $10, and you give everybody $90 equally, white people will have $200 and black people will have $100, meaning white people will still have $100 more than black people. It's not just theoretical. A study in 2015 in Greater Boston found that the average net worth of white households was $247,000, but for black American households, it was only $8. That's not a misquote, a misprint, or a mistake. That's the intentional miscarriage of justice. That's why race-neutral solutions to race-specific problems don't work. DEI made it a priority for schools, employers, businesses, and government agencies to recruit and retain black people. But when the Supreme Court struck down race-based affirmative action in college admissions in 2023, it opened the doors for a flood of local, state, and federal litigation and legislation to claim that white people are being oppressed by a non-existent thing called reverse racism. Since that time, a Trump-appointed federal judge here in Texas ruled that the Minority Business Development Agency must now help white men. Two Trump-appointed federal appeals judges in Georgia ruled that a venture capital fund for black women could no longer focus on helping black women. A Trump-appointed federal judge here in Texas also blocked aid for black farmers because it was unfair to white men. And Trump himself has announced that his administration plans to pay restitution to presumably white students he feels are victims of DEI. Never mind the fact that black people experience higher unemployment, lower wages, more student loan debt, lower home ownership rates, and grossly disproportionate arrest and incarceration rates. They say when you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. I'm not sure if white Americans really believe that they're the ones oppressed, but their collective sense of innocence and entitlement depends on perpetuating that fraud. So what can you do? One, you can stop shopping in places that don't care about you. Two, you can support black-owned businesses. And three, you can support lawmakers who support DEI. But most importantly, you need to be aware, with Trump and Elon Musk attempting to control the levers of power in government, media, education, and corporate boardrooms in America, the next 4 years will usher in a deluge of racial brainwashing, reprogramming, and misinformation. Just like the leaders of Oz, they will manipulate the truth and exploit their power to convince the people that the oppressors are the victims and the victims are the oppressors. Don't let them rewrite our history. Friday, and Walmart.
A big part of this, especially in the black community, is that like globally, we are the host for colonial parasites. Everybody comes to our communities to extract value, but they don't give anything back. And we can look at this in black American culture as beauty supply store, liquor store, even Chinese restaurant, or just restaurants that's selling us bad food. They make a ton of money, and then they go and they take it out of the neighborhood and they don't put any value back. That's parasitic, and everybody has a parasitic relationship with black people, even when it comes to people that head up record labels and things like that. They want to extract the value out of the black artists, put them in a fucked up deal, own their masters. They don't give them any leeway to ever be independent, and a lot of people have to make a decision early on that I'm going to be independent because I've seen niggas get signed into parasitic, predatory ass contracts before me. And if we think about it on a global level, France would be a third world country without Africa. How many European countries are just staying afloat because of Africa and the resources that they're extracting out of there, but damning people to like abject poverty because they're like basically getting them to do all the labor and then taking all the value of that labor outside. And now we see China moving in on Africa as well to extract value. That's why the dude and the leader in Burkina Faso kicked all the French people out. They doing the same thing in Mali right now, kicking all any semblance of like colonialism. They kicking these people out. Like the leader in Burkina Faso survived like 10, 15 assassination attempts, and it's because he's killing the parasite. He's starving them. All of these people are dependent on our talent, our skills, and the things that they can extract from us from a valuable standpoint without pouring anything else back. And then you have also parasites do more than just extract nutrients. They control you. So if we look at it from a pure musical standpoint, they're controlling behavior through the messaging in the music. I'm only going to sign somebody that's talking about a certain thing that can, if I own a record label and I got stocks in a prison, then I'm going to promote a lifestyle that's going to end up, when most people ended up in prison. And then it's just a cycle of money. It's washing itself. And no matter where people are, no matter where Africans have landed, whether that be North America, South America, or anywhere else abroad, you see some of the same qualities in people. Like we have people that, like Indian people that own all the liquor stores that you're gonna go to, but there's a high concentration of liquor stores in the hood. So you keeping niggas drunk, you feeding them bad food, but there's nothing pouring back into their neighborhood. They not busting. They're not doing no giveaways. You ain't seen no Patels do turkey drives. You ain't seen that.
See who?
The Patels, nigga.
You never seen a nigga named Patel.
You ain't never seen the Patels do that. And the way that the Patels came up in this country is off of free labor. That's how they end up running the hotel industry anyway. A big part of this, especially in the black community, is that like globally, we are the host for colonial parasites. Everybody comes to our communities to extract value, but they don't give anything back. And we can look at this in black American culture as beauty supply store, liquor store, even Chinese restaurant, or just restaurants that's selling us bad food. They make a ton of money.
Like, what do you mean? In other countries, they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries. What do you mean in other countries, everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean? The people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours, and they can easily afford their life. And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and like there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on.
I'm gonna just cut it off right there. Dry up them fucking crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is white people's fault. This is white people's fault. And now y'all want to boo-hoo and cry because y'all done got on that Chinese app and they done put the reverse card on y'all ass and held up that mirror and told y'all, no, y'all are the brokies. Not us. We not the brokies. It's y'all. And y'all got to face the cold, hard reality that y'all have made this bed and now y'all got to sit in it. No, take accountability. Don't sit here and boo-hoo and cry and get on the TikTok and talk in the internet talking about what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? No, what are y'all gonna do? Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these fucking decades, and y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white. Y'all thought this shit was about race. No, it's always been about class, and y'all were never a part of the club. Y'all make up 60% of this country's population. There's no we, it's y'all. Every minority could vote or go against something or go for something that we know is good for the people. And y'all would turn it down because y'all have the overwhelming majority. So it's no we, it's y'all. Fix y'all shit. I know y'all don't like to take accountability for nothing, but now it's time. Y'all over there boo-hooing crying because y'all seeing the Chinese Walmart and they over there paying $3 for a whole goddamn bag of groceries. Meanwhile, you gotta pay $200 and barely fill up your grocery cart. See, all those things you're boo-hooing and crying about, FDR made that happen. But then it all went away in 1967. Why did I say 1967? What does that correlate to? Oh, the Civil Rights Act was passed. Integration happened. And then white people stripped away or voted against themselves to strip away all public services and entities and all those great things that y'all had prior to integration because y'all didn't want black people to have the shit. So y'all gave all that up in the 1980s when Reagan created trickle-down economics because y'all didn't want us to have. He gave us crack and trickle-down economics. And y'all was cool with that. Y'all made a deal with the devil and now y'all gotta accept the consequences of y'all fucking actions. Y'all had affordable housing. Y'all didn't have fucking credit scores. Y'all didn't have you can send your kids to college for the free or for the low. We had advanced and effective public transit and services in this country. But y'all gave all of it away because y'all didn't want niggas to have access. Y'all fought so hard with things like red line and all these different things to hold black people back to keep us from getting a piece of the pie. Whole time they taking y'all pie. And now y'all gotta face the music. And y'all don't now you wanna boo-hoo. Y'all let them pass the Patriot Act in the act of protecting us from terrorists. Use that Islamophobia against y'all dumbass. Y'all let them further push the Patriot Act in 2019 because of that the immigration that y'all was so afraid of, all the immigrants, right? Just taking away all y'all fucking right. Now y'all want to point and what are we gonna do? No, what are y'all gonna do? Because when black people out here marching because for police brutality, who they just do things to us and write a fake ass police report and get away with it, nothing happens. You think or when we did ride with things like Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin happened, and the original Black Lives Matter activists, the original movement that got hijacked, you know what I'm saying? The original activists that was out there on the ground got took out by the police. Oh no, y'all ain't say nothing. When we telling y'all that they're interfering in our freedoms and our rights, but no, it's just it's black people, so we ain't right. It's not us, it's them. Well, I shouldn't have to pay for the sins of my fathers. I didn't own any slaves. I'm not racist. Yes, but you're compliant to the system and you're complacent and you're okay with the system that gave you an edge up against us. Go back to R. Kelly or the things that was going on at Nickelodeon or with Harvey Weinstein, all that weird shit, right? There were people still giving up their kids to that, selling making deals, still going up there knowing everything that was going on, putting their children, putting their livelihoods, cameramen, people going to get opportunities and jobs. They did not care so long as it wasn't them. And that was y'all this entire time up until now. Go back and look at the prequel to the Purges. Where did they start? Where did they start? How did they get people to approve some shit like the Purge? They started in the hood. They started with black people. They started with the disenfranchised. So when y'all turn a blind eye and y'all let that shit go on with black people and we getting our ass whipped by police and we getting our rights taken away and we getting profiled and we getting this, and they're slowly implementing that shit and they were slowly draining that shit from y'all. It look like, come on, bruh. You would have thought y'all would have woke up when that shit happened in North Carolina and that hurricane went up there and fucked them up. But no, what did they turn into? Oh, well, it's Biden. Whole time North Carolina is a red fucking state. Open. Like, your local governments fucking failed y'all. So no, there's no, what are we gonna do? No, it's what y'all gonna do. Grab y'all fucking nuts and go do something. Because We black people, man, we tired of being y'all fucking crash dummies and going out there and then they give y'all a little piece of the pie, then y'all go back and y'all let us out there to fucking drown. No, y'all go do something.
Oh, and never forget, we could have had Bernie, but y'all said he was a socialist.
Like, what do you mean? In other countries?
Wow. Woo! People be dropping some heavy stuff, boy. Man. They drop some heavy stuff. That's why they don't like TikTok. This is why they don't like. This is the reason why. Because of videos like this.
Black people, I am going to say this as humbly as I know how. I've been hearing the conversation about where everyone is going when it's a wrap with TikTok. I've been hearing Lemon 8, I've been hearing Red Note, and just a few people are even mentioning Fanbase, the black-owned app. And I'm going to just say this. If y'all take y'all asses over to those Chinese-made apps that treat y'all like shit over here, they don't monetize you the way that they should. They give other creators credit for your originality. They take down your videos. Every time you look up, you're getting some kind of community violation. If y'all go over there, I will be convinced that you guys like abuse, that you love it, and that you thrive off of it. Because why wouldn't you go to Fanbase? Over there, he's even giving you the opportunity to invest into the company. I mean, there's nothing better than that right there. I mean, that's an awesome opportunity. And if y'all rather go over there and continue to make them rich and not take the opportunity with Fanbase, I'm convinced. I'm convinced that y'all like abuse. Black people, I am going to say this as humbly as I know how.
No said right there. No said. No said, but yeah, it's some powerful stuff. And it's just amazing.
Today's topic, slavery. So yes, the jingle bell thing is true. They used to hang bells on their slaves' neck so that if the slaves try to run away, they can hear and chase them. And this was considered fun for some reason. 2, they used to brand slaves, like they'll remove one of their ear or remove teeth, so that if the slave runs away, somebody from another place can see them like, oh, they're missing an ear, which means they came from so place, or they're missing teeth, they came from so place. Also, this stuff that people that have animal do, that they'll use hot iron to like brand the animal. They used to do it too. It's also one of the forms of branding, like to identify their slaves that they used to do to black people. 3, have you heard of the word buck naked? So they used to call black men buck. So sagging came from black men trying to let their slave owner know that they've already been raped in the, by putting their pants down. And one of the terms that they used to use to refer to this activity was buck broken or buck breaking, to know that, okay, they've, 4, this one was mostly done by the women. They will dig a hole that will fit, it's usually done to children. They'll dig a hole that will fit the child up to the neck level, so they'll put the child inside, cover it, and they and their kids will be playing by kicking the kid's head just kicking it until alive. By the way, they put the child in the ground alive, so they kick the head around as some form of fun. Yeah, they do it so much to a point where in some cases the person's head, the child's head, falls off from their neck while during the kicking process. So yeah, this is one of the things they used to do, and they considered it fun time. They used to market their female slaves naked, because majority of the slave owners, they use the slaves as sex slaves also. So if they want to sell the women, they display them naked, because the more features the woman has, the higher the price they'll buy her for, especially if it's somebody that is looking to be just assaulting their slave. This was one of the things they used to do. 6. Amputation was used as a form of punishment. If you do something that's not nice, they will remove your hand, remove your leg, without anesthetics, by the way, as a form of punishment. This was also used by King Leopold II from Belgium in Congo, where he unalived, some sources say 12 million, some sources say 20 million Congolese people, some of them being children. If your father does not meet his quota of like mining for resources, if he does not meet his quota, his child will face the penalty. There are pictures of him hanging children or amputating their limbs because their father did not meet the quota that he was given for that day. So they also used to use this on the slave as a form of punishment. Yeah, so now you know. Right? Today's topic, slavery. So yes.
That was heavy. Man, it's heavy. Yeah. That's heavy. But now I'm gonna show you some videos that people mentions the past, and but we have something that came up in the present. On Willie D covered this. Watch this.
Did you know you don't have to wait until you pass to receive a payout from your life insurance policy? You see, those that have signed.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? We got a white woman who claims that another white woman who was dying of COVID shared with her a heart-wrenching confession. She said that the woman said that when she was a teenager, she lied to her mother and told her that one of the local black boys touched her behind a supermarket. This is 1936 Louisiana. This is a big deal. She says that the little boy was lynched. His family home was burned to the ground. She says she watched it all go down and said nothing. Then she confessed that the reason she lied was that the little boy's sisters had prettier dresses than she had. That's it, fam. They didn't jump her. They didn't chase her home from school. It's just that the little boy's sisters had pretty dresses and she didn't have any. You would be surprised at how many black people lost their lives from these lies. And here's the thing, fam. Even when you consider the magnitude of the lies, or you consider the grievance itself, we're talking petty stuff like a kiss, a whistle, a handshake, somebody looking, and these are lies though. But that was enough for these savages
go out and string black folks up and kill them. This is how much of a savage they were, how uncivilized they were, and how they were protected by law enforcement. They were protected by politicians. Yeah. They were protected by your government. See, this is the only reason why they would do things like this in the first place, because they knew they could operate with impunity. They even killed white people and got away with it by blaming black people. Killed a black person who they lied on, case closed. Because there was so many white folks, so racist, so consumed with racism, that they wanted to believe it was a black person who raped their family member, or who killed somebody, or who stole something. They wanted to believe it. So all you had to say, the black man did it. The black person did it. The black. And just like that, they would serve justice instantly, or injustice instantly. The woman also shared that the old buzzard who was dying of COVID said that she was hallucinating, seeing visions of a little black boy trying to get her. She's trying to get her. And she asked if she could be forgiven. And the woman said, she told her, the only person who can forgive you is the boy you killed. I saw some people online saying things like, I don't know if I believe that, and you know what color they were, right? See, this is for all you people that are always talking about, you're always making everything about color. It's all about racism. Everything is not about every goddamn thing in this country is about race. Even when the races are mixing, even when the races are getting along, when there's harmony, there's always a backdrop of racism. There's always a cloud of racism. Always. If you do not like me talking about racism, do something about it. No, don't just complain about me complaining about racism. Go out there and do something about racism. Why don't you try to end it? Why don't you do something to mitigate it? See, that's too much like right. You ain't gonna do that because you like the benefits that you get from racism. That's right, I said it. You just want me to be silent so you can be comfortable. But that ain't gonna happen. I absolutely believe it. We got enough evidence, historical evidence, to support it. Nobody wants to wake up looking for racism. Where's the racism? I need some racism in my life. Yeah, ain't nobody call me the N-word yet. I need somebody to call me the N-word. I need somebody to call somebody else the N-word so I can get mad about it. I don't know, think somebody get up with this shit. Thinking about this type of stuff. Looking forward to this. Some of y'all get more offended by the person who is a victim of racism than you get offended by the person committing the racism, which lets me know what you're all about. You ain't fooling me. You don't fool me one bit. Carl Amati try to call you one. He's a racist. He's a racist. He's a... Nah, you ain't fooling me. Say, man, this is a shoe fit wearing situation here. So, if the shoe don't fit you, don't worry about it, you know? In fact, if the shoe don't fit you, you're probably listening to what I'm saying, and you're in total agreement if the shoe don't fit you. In fact, let me take out probably. If the shoe don't fit you, you absolutely agree with everything that I'm saying because you know I'm right. This uncivilized mutt was indoctrinated, possibly by a mammy and a pappy. And they were indoctrinated by their mammies and pappies. Blame it on the black man. Blame it on the black boy. These uncivilized mutts would kill babies. Just kill them. Because they looked at somebody, or somebody said they looked at them, or these uncivilized mutts over the years have just made up lies. Just imagine, fam, imagine right now if you don't like somebody right now, and all you gotta do is lie and they get deleted. All you gotta do is lie and just say, oh, he pushed me, he looked at me wrong, he stared at me, he complimented my legs, he whistled. That's all you gotta do. And boom, gone. She called me a name. Boom, person gone, just like that. These uncivilized mutts were moving with impunity. And to this day, because there is not a zero tolerance for that type of behavior, they still get away with it from time to time. It ain't as frequent, but they still move that way. And this is why you have to always move with your head on a swivel and understand history. Because if you do not know where you came from, you will find yourself right back in the same position.
Go ahead and cut this video short. People, racism, from here, you hear from the past, has always been generational. And there's two types of racism in America. You have the people that are really racist, don't mind letting you know that they're racist. You can see it come out. And then you come out and say, well, if I'm racist, I'm racist. And some of us can respect that. But it's the indirect racist people that do things like this. And they'll cover up for the direct racist people. And what Willie D said is absolutely correct. History show it, and from the past to the present show it. And this is the reason why black folks, you hear across the internet saying that we want reparations. And God ever laid on this government's heart, an individual's heart, to give reparations, if it ever happened, which I do believe it happened, this is my suggestion as far as the reparation. You get that reparation, there's going to be a certain percentage of black people, you're going to have to leave the country, period. Like hearing how some of these celebrities don't agree with the ideology of certain things that's going to happen, and some people say, go ahead, go. Yeah. But at the same time, which I know, that's their opinion, but looking at the history and seeing from the history, and that when people telling you to forget about the history, but you're seeing certain stories like this in the present, and you see how racism transforms itself. It keeps transforming itself. They're trying to duck it. They try to, kind of cover it like a bat. If you were trying to catch smoke and try to cover it and don't want to let them know that the smoke is in the room. They're trying to find some way to cover up the smoke. Racism is like that. In this country, it's like that. And some of us been into it. And for my black people out there that are expats that have decided to leave this country, salute to you. That had a dual visa, salute to you. Because deep down, when you step out this country, you're a human being. You really are a human being. But in this country, you're a human being, but we've been trained generationally to see color. And some people from all generations, of all races, walks of life, don't understand because it's been embedded into us. The envious and jealous, and we know the signs of racism. And the people who's perpetuating the racism when it comes to black people, they want to wrap it up and deny. But and we tried it, and some of us cave in and we go right along with it. Yeah, y'all need to just get over it. But I heard something recently, and this young man made this video about these children that are from biracial relationship, and they predominantly have black and have white. Well, let's just say the people in their families, the indirect come out and be was directly to them what they felt about black people behind their back. These biracial children, mixed race children, and you would figure that and someone said this, just be, because their parent lay down with the black person, they can't be racist. They cannot. There's some people, and they trying to drown that illusion out. Cause I've seen it. I've told stories where I dated a woman who was biracial, her mother was white, her dad was black. She don't know who her dad is, and how when she moved down in southern Kentucky, man, she told me a story what she went through down there. So even though she's biracial, the things that the people said to her down there was unbelievable. That you don't know. And these biracial, when I make the next video, gonna prove what I'm saying. And they don't want it to be revealed because it's they know they shame themselves. And the reason why some black people don't want, they feel kind of the same way like some white people. They don't like racial mixing because the white people have these innuendos among each other that say this stuff when they not in our presence. And that gets some black people to probably feel some kind of way of being prejudiced. And then when they don't take a stand and don't examine, and it takes a few people saying this is not right. Everybody's a human being. People can say that, but when it comes to certain topics in certain situations, it always flares up. But these mixed race children reveal the white side of their family. They reveal some things, and there's one content creator is on it, and it was like, wow, they were just coming out with it, but it was confirming what I seen. And it's like, wow, and I was like, I thought this was kind of a liberated family, because I thought people are people. No, even one of those family members, like he said, get along, marry along, you always have somebody that they connect to that's racist. they exercise it, and they become comfortable with it. They want it to be like the way it was. They want to live on the world like Simon says. Till I feel that you are. That's the mindset of some people. Of the people who they don't think highly of. Because they've been taught from generation after generation. And that's something I'm so proud of black people and any people that decide to make a dual citizenship to another country. And I tell you, brother, if I was wealthy, and I think I would leave the country. I don't think I would want to buy land here. Now, I'll be one of black people. What's the sense of buying land when you see that the history of it, and there are black people who still own land that get harassed on their land, they get intimate. I mean, they come in a few years and decide to just give you a hard ass time and take your property. Not that it can happen other places, but if you go to a place where you can keep them out, they have to go by certain rules, or it can be international law. But in America, you know, I looked at the black man out there in Colorado that's minding his own business with him and his wife, and he had sheep. He's a black farmer, and these people who are envious and jealous of him, and the sheriff department won't do nothing for harassing this man. They turn around and arrested him for trying to defend himself. I watch a young black woman who's opened up her own business, and these are black people who are not troublemakers. These are black people that mind their own business and just want to do something. But it's subconsciously the envies and jealousy and prejudice in some people don't want to see black people, these black individuals, anyway. So I'm saying, let these people who have that envies and jealousy, keep them here in the States. Not that you're not going to count it over there, but it won't. But at least you have an idea. It's going to be problems wherever you go in the world. But this stuff is ridiculous, and it's generational. So hey, for the ones you get your wealth, you get up out of here, and you gonna have your own gonna turn against you too, because they've been, and just like during the times of Harriet Tubman, why you want to leave the plantation? Why do you? And they seeing all this stuff was happening, but they say if that person, and they so geared that there are black people till this day, generation, that they like them slaves that didn't want to leave the plantation. They guilt shamed other people. You're crazy out there. But you're trying to be free as God designed you to be. But how are you supposed to be free when you live in some part of the United States, in a little town, that subconsciously keep you bound from generation after generation as your forefathers that walked that land? And we can say, but there are people, and then the people who do stand up, they go through just about the worst for standing up for you. And it can look like them, but they stand up, they're going to get it even worse. So, you ain't got no choice, man. If you get your reparation or any kind of wealth or anything, bro, some of us going to have to go. Because when these people, when they find out that these blacks who from generation feel like that, it's not going to be a walk in the cake part. They're going to be jealous, and that same spirit going to rise up in them again. Look at what they've done. Look, when I mentioned about the Colorado incident, look at that's the same spirit, and the players and sheriff would do nothing. But they say, yeah, we're moving on, we're moving by. But there are black people still this day who have done nothing wrong, who live their life, whether it's in the city or in the suburb or the country, still subjected to this. Not the ones that commit crimes, not the ones that bad things, just because they have melanin on their skin. And they're very keep to themselves and outstanding and speak forward. So the past is reminding you what you are. You're trying to get over the past, but the past keep reminding you. In part of them, that's why we so conditioned to see color in this country. Because the past is keep reminding us in cases like this. When you're on the job, when you're looking for housing, when you're looking for banking, when your kids' education. But they say color don't matter, but it does matter. Like Willie said, yes, it does matter. In every sector of life, there's got to be we together, but it's like first we got put these people and these people get these other people, but once we get these other people, then we go back and turn against each other. That's true. Well, anyway, but there you go. That's history. So, but the history's in the present. But there, anybody want that? Them content creators laid it out the truth, and whether people like it, whether it rubs you the wrong way, it is truth is truth. Sometimes there's some things that people have to tell me some things that are true I don't like. But reality is truth is truth. No one's better or different. Remember that. Take care. Be blessed.